Welcome to Funda CompuPath, where we learn to solve certain problems using certain computer application methods. In this video, we are going to create a monthly sales performance summary, which is based on the report that I have already created. I'm going to attach that particular report on this video. If you look at this report, you will see that it has key performance indicators. It has sales breakdown by product category. It has all those figures in word processing. But in this video, we are going to show how those figures are calculated in Excel or in spreadsheet before you can move them into your full report or before you can create your full report. So those calculations can be done in spreadsheet before you prepare your full report. So we are going to show how. You open your spreadsheet document, then we are going to write our heading here. Once you have drafted it like this, now we can format it and make it to appear good. In other words, we have to design it and then we have to format it using the right calculations. When it comes to A1, you can just highlight everything until column D, like this. Then merge the cells, go to alignment and merge the cells. You click OK, and then you can increase the size to size 16, like this, size 16. You can also bold and you can use the blue color, this one. Then you come to performance, you highlight performance until C. You do the very same thing. You click alignment, you go to merge cells. Okay. Then you have to increase the size as well. So you can just bold and increase the size maybe to size 14. To size 14. And then we come to number 2. We do the same thing from A to C. Alignment, you merge, okay. Then you bold, size 14. Size 14. You can also change the colors to blue, like this. And now let's move to A5. A5 until D5, like this. We can highlight the whole thing, but before we do so, let's just go to alignment. We just need to bold this part. We click bold. Maybe the size, we can increase it to size 12. Size 12. Then we can shade it like this. Then we can choose the very same blue. You can choose the very same blue like this. And then we can change the font to white like this. We come here as well. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to bold the text size 12. And then we shade it with blue. Then we change the color to white. Like this. You can also like stretch or open your columns. You can open the column A up to this degree. Then we can also like adjust column B, C, and D like this. Now everything looks much clearer or a bit better. We have to design it accordingly before we can create our calculations. Then you come to your total. Then we can increase the size to size 18 or size 16. Let's use 16. And then bold. Like this. So now we have to move to our currencies here. Highlight our currencies. Then we go to alignment. Or you can go to number and click number. Then we go to currency. We use South African rands like this with 2 decimals. Or you can just use your own currency. If you're using dollar or any other currency, you can just come here and select it. So I will just go with South African rands with 2 decimals like this. You come here again, you highlight this part, you do the same thing. You go to number, currency, 2 decimals. Because this is currency, this is amount, and this is amount. So when it comes to transactions, because these are transactions, there's no need to put decimals or currency. Then we can also come to the percentage. And go to number. And go to number. We can add, like for an example, we can add 2 decimals. 2 decimals like this. We can add 2 decimals like this. You have to make sure that you're on percentage and it shows the percent here. Then you can add like 2 decimals. Then you click OK, like this. Then again, you have to come here under gross sales. You highlight everything like this. Then you go to number, currency, 2 decimals. Then you apply your own currency. like this. So units sold, there's no need for currency and decimals. And now we have to apply the calculations so that you can understand how those calculations in the report were actually calculated, or what kind of a formula was used, because it is very important to understand these formulas, especially if you are working with calculations. Then we have to come to D6. We have to position ourselves here at D6. We are going to perform our first calculation here. We are going to perform our first calculation. So which formula should we use? Because on this column, which is column B, we have the target. The target is 140,000, 140,000 total revenue, then gross profit, 40%, total transactions, at least 480, average basket value, 291. But these are our actuals. 145,000, 42%, 500, 290. What we want here is to compare the target and actual so that we can judge our performance or how the company has performed. Whether we have like reached the target, or we didn't reach the target, or we almost reached the target. So in other words, we are going to judge the performance. So this is the formula that we are going to use. We're going to say is equal sign, open the bracket, open another bracket again. Then we are going to say C6. C6 is our actual. C6 is our actual. So now we have to subtract. We have to say minus. We subtract our target. Our target is B6. Then we close the bracket. We close the bracket. Then we're going to use a stroke. Why we use stroke? We divide by B6. Divide by B6. Then we close the bracket. It's important to explain this formula so that you can understand why this formula is used. Is equal sign, we open the bracket. We open another bracket. We say C6 minus B6. In other words, we are forcing the spreadsheet to focus on minus first before we can create a percentage. So that is why we close the bracket and then we say /B6. In other words, the formula has to focus on minus first. Then once it has subtracted Now it has to divide again with B6 because we judge ourselves based on B6. Then it will give us the results, whether we have improved or we didn't improve. Then after that, you click enter. In other words, once you get this number, the first thing that you need to do, you need to, because we are looking for the percentage, you go to number, and then after that, click percentage. Click percentage. Then when it comes to decimals, okay, it can be 2 decimals. Leave it at 2. Then you click OK. Then it means the improvement is 3.5%. In other words, our actual is above the target by 3.5%. Then you copy the very same formula. You copy it, Control C, Shift down arrow, then you say Control V. This is what you need. This is what you should get. If this one is correct, it means everything that is below should be correct. If this one is correct. If this one is wrong, everything below is going to be wrong. If you are going to use this method of Control C, you copy this formula, then you paste it down here. So now it means when it comes to our actual here on total revenue, there's improvement of 3.5%. Gross profit margin, there's 5% difference. When it comes to transactions, there is an increase of 4.17%. When it comes to various average basket value, is minus 0.57 because our actual is below our target. Once you are done, now you need to come here. You need to come here. So now, when it comes to this, let me just add a percentage here. Percent like this. A percent contribution. So now, before we can do all these contributions, we have to do these totals here. We have to do the totals here. Is equals sum B14 to B17. Then it will give you this amount. Then you copy it, Control C, Shift, right arrow, like this. Then Control V, like that. Then we can bold this amount and we can increase the size to size 14. We can apply size 14 here. Then now we have to calculate the contributions. The reason we calculated these ones first is because they are going to help us to calculate the contributions in percent. Why? In other words, our total here is 145,000. Let's just put our currency, 2 decimals like this, 145,000. So our contribution is going to work like this in order for us to find the percent of each category. In other words, we're going to say 75,000 is how many percent of this 145,000. 35,000 is how many percent of 145,000. Same applies to 23,000 and 12,000. That's the easiest way I can explain it. But let's create a formula so that you can have a better understanding. This is what we are going to do. Is equal sum you open your bracket like this. You're going to say C14. C14 you use a stroke, a divide like this. Then you're going to put a dollar sign. C, another dollar sign. I'm going to explain the formula. Then you write 18. You close the bracket. Why this formula? We use equal sum C14. C14 is 75,000. We want to find out that how many percent is 75,000 out of 45,000. In other words, 75%, 75,000 is how many percent of the total value of 145,000. So we are going to use divide and a dollar sign C, dollar sign C, so that the formula can focus on this column. And then we say dollar sign 18 again, so that in this column it can focus on C18, so that we can be specific, so that we can get this percentage. Then you're going to say enter. This is what you will get. This is what you will get. But when you see this, you have to do the very same thing we did here. You go to number, then you click percentage, 2 decimals. Okay, so now it tells us that the grocery category has contributed by 51.72% in this monthly sales performance summary. That formula is very important. Then this is what you're going to do. You're going to say Control C. You copy the formula now. You copy the formula, you go down like this. If this one is correct, means everything below is going to be correct. Control V, like this. Then it means the toiletries have contributed by 24.14%. Household goods or household items, 15.86%. Then apparel or clothing is 8.28%. Then we copy this one, or we can just, yes, we can copy this one like this. And then this side, then we paste it like this, but without a currency. We should not put a currency. If it puts a currency like this, you can just say Control Z, because I don't want you to be confused. We can fix it, but I don't want you to be confused. Let's start it from the scratch here. You have to come here and say equal sum. Equal sum. Open the bracket. D14 to D17. Close the bracket and then enter. Then it will give you 100%. You can bold your 100%, maybe increase the size to size. Size 12 is better. Even here, I think we have to change it to size 12, like this. This is how it should look. Then once you are done creating this monthly salary or monthly sales performance summary, then you can go and create your report in Word document. You can just copy everything that you want and go and paste it there and make your full report to look good. I hope you have learned something, and we are done.